My name is Wojtek, and today I'm going to be starting off with my sensitivity and settings. We're going to start off with my settings, in-game settings. Squad privacy, that does not matter. Matchmaking freezes, we'll talk about that later. Ping doesn't really matter. Display of form searches, I have that. It's your information down here on your computer. I have that set to on just so I can see. It's just that's personal preference. Connectivity, default. I actually don't know what that is, to be honest. I guess I have that default. Cycle inside camera groups. I have that off. To be honest, I'm not sure what this does. If user pickup, you want that set to both. That is so when you run over the bomb, it's a new setting they added. When you run over the bomb, you can pick it up by running over it, or you can pick it up by pressing whatever button you have assigned. Drone after pep phrase, you want that on manual for sure. That's so that you can exit out of your drone, your prep phase, instead of it automatically exiting you out. So that way, if you're watching something on your drone during drone phase, stay on your drone and it doesn't make you get out of it. Match replay. Obviously, that's personal preference. HUD. For me, I have mine on simplified, and that's because I don't like a lot going on within my screen. So I have it on simplified. That's another personal preference thing. It's just easier for me because there's not so much going on. But if you want, you can have it on advanced. I prefer simplified. So this is obviously your audio. The only input one I'm going to really go over is night mode. This makes the footsteps that you hear a lot louder in the game, and it makes gun firing a lot quieter. So you want to hear those footsteps. So I have on night mode. Voice chat volume, I would always keep that lower than your master volume, so that way if people are talking in game, you can still hear the game over the noise. Obviously, these are obvious. I don't have to go over that. Display, I'm only going to go over the important ones. Full screen, obviously you play full screen. Obviously resolution is going to be 1920 by 1080. And I actually overclock my monitor. I can go over that, but that's only if you guys are in the comments wanting me to go over how to overclock your monitor and go over that. Aspect ratio, I have mine set to 4:3. I know some people play on 16:10. I just play on 4:3. So I've tried 5:4. I like 5:4, but I think it's a personal preference thing. I think you should mess around and see which one is better for you. But I would stick with 4:3 or 16:10. VSync, I have that off. I think it causes screen tearing, so I don't use that. FPS limit, I have capped it to 200 in my game files, and I'll show you guys that later. And the reason why I capped mine is because if your frames keep going higher and lower, it causes screen tearing. And honestly, if you have a 244 Hz monitor, you might as well cap it to 250 because it just makes no sense for you to be trying to push in more frames past it if your Hertz is capped at 244 or 240. Oh, 240. My bad. This does not matter. My brightness is on 51. Graphic settings, these are pretty important. I have my texture quality, you want to put that to low. Texture filtering, linear, low D quality. I have mine on very high. This is like the distance of everything. I think it's that and shadow quality are the most important ones. Shading quality, you can probably put that on medium and be just fine. Shadow quality, I would put that on high to very high. I like to keep that on high to very high. That's the shadow of the enemies, obviously. So those are very important. Sometimes they can get you kills. VFX quality, I have mine on low. Reflection quality, low. Ambient occlusion, off. Lens effect, off. Zoom in depth field, off. Anti-aliasing, off. And then if you have that off, you don't have to mess with these. My controls are all input. I have mine off. I have played with it on, and for me, there's no difference, so I just leave it off. Obviously disabled. My mouse sensitivity is 64/64, and it's not actually 64/64. In the game files, I use the mouse multiplier, and I'll show you guys that later in the settings. And I'll also leave my mouse multiplier in the description as well. Mouse ADS sensitivity, you guys can pause this and then copy them if you want to use them. Gadget deployment, you want that on advanced instead of standard. Drone deployment, advanced as well. You want for game, hold, obviously, toggle, hold, toggle, toggle, walk, and then controls. I'm just going to go through it, and then you guys can copy it if you want. Just pause the video if you want to copy one of them. Also, I use my mouse button. Secondary, primary, I use my mouse button. This one is primary gadget, and then this one's secondary gadget. Close them. And then none of these really matter. This one, I set mine to purple, and then shake intensity, you actually want that on. Yeah, you want that. You want shake intensity for sure. But optic opacity, 65%. And then yeah, none of these are okay. So what you guys want to do is you want to open up your File Explorer tab. Too many. And don't mind all this. It's a mess. I know. I'm not very organized. But anyways, you want to go to Documents, and then you want to go to My Games, and then you want to go to Rainbow Six Siege, and then mine is the top file. And an easy way you can tell is if you click on this, if you go and Google tab stats, and then you can tab stats yourself, and the URL will match up identical to your game file if you have multiple accounts though. So you want to open up your game file that correlates to the account you want to change to, and open up your game settings. And then what you want to do is, if you want to change any of this stuff, but this will not affect your PC or your game whatsoever. FPS limit, this is how you cap your frames. I have mine capped at 200. Obviously for screen tearing, especially when I'm streaming. And then I just leave it like that. I don't really care. Refresh rate, don't change this. Mine's just, overclocked my monitor. Scroll down here. Multiplier. Mouse sensitivity multiplier unit. Mine is set to 0.002230. I didn't change the X factor any whatsoever. I just find that this helps me tremendously. I feel more accurate with it like that. It slows down your sensitivity a little bit. That's pretty much it. I can and then my ADS it's just regular. It's the default 0.02. Another thing you guys can see here is your data center hint, and this is the server. So if you want to play on Australian East or Brazil South, either one of these, you can just copy it and then paste it over here. You want to paste it right here, just like that. and then you can play on that server. I play on this, but one day it was glitching and bugging, but it was just on the default, so, and it was switching me servers for whatever reason, so I just switched it to always play on East. Once you're done and you've changed everything, you're gonna hit File and Save, and then you can close it out. So now that we are back, we are going to be going over sensitivity, how to find your sensitivity. Honestly, the shooting range and training rounds are literally your best friend. I don't use any outside program or anything to go over like my aim or anything like that. I literally just stick with the game that I'm playing. It's called, I think it's Zone 3. And then you want to click on Options, set it, the round duration. You can do 30 or 60. I think 120 is a little ridiculous, but 30 or 60. I'm going to do 30. Set it to small ball, and then I would set it to medium because far gets a little ridiculous. I'd use far and then 3 because the maximum targets gets way too much. But I would set it to, and then use idle. I would set it to far if you're using the 1.5. But if you're using the slate, just use medium, but far. And then I use infinite ammo on because there's no point in reloading if you're practicing. And then apply, and then hit begin. And you can just walk over here. I stay in the middle typically, and then you can just flick to your targets. I missed that one. I'm not entirely warmed up, but you know, you get the gist. The micro movements is really what's going to like affect your aim. You're going to be able to flick the ones that are closer a lot faster. Now, if you're doing this, and let's say when you flick to something, so if I flick to here to there, and let's say I'm landing way up here, you need to lower your sensitivity down just a bit. But if you're flicking up to here and then you're landing like right here, you want to raise it up just a bit and just keep playing around with it till you're you know, right around it. This one over here, you can go to zone 2 and then you can put it on like 20, and then you can practice your tracing or your tracking. Practice your tracking like that. That's another thing you can do. And over here, you can practice your recoil control. This gun has like literally no recoil. I do too. This gun has like absolutely 0 recoil. So you can see the recoil pattern right there. It goes up and then to the right a little bit. So you want to just pull your mouse down in the opposite direction. So if it goes up and to the right, and then you're just pulling your mouse down. And then your recoil should look something like that. Another thing I did is I set my sensitivity to where I knew my perfect 360 was every time, to where I felt comfortable with my perfect 360. And even though 360s are kind of pointless, it still gives me like an understanding of like where my full range of motion is. I mean, I didn't like measure it out or anything, you know, but I understand like mentally where my full range of motion is, and that just helps me out. And then the thing you can do to practice your 180s is you can go to your settings, go to matchmaking preferences, turn all of this off and leave on disarm bomb, and then turn all the other maps off but leave on presidential plane. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, so the reason why you pick presidential plane is so that way when you plant the bomb, it's really easy to practice your 180s because of the way the lineups go. Bots are going to come from this direction and this direction, and that's pretty much it. I mean, they may come from here too, and then you can practice your flicks from there. But that's how I practice my 180s.
5 seconds.
You can also practice your quick fees from here, in the hallway. This way. multiplier. It's basically just, that's all this map is. It's just 180. See how easy it is to just go to practice 180s. Kill the spot. So yeah, that's basically how I practice my 180s. I'm sure there's other methods, maybe better methods, but personally this is the one that I use and I've been using for a while. I can't remember how anyone showed me this, but it was definitely a video of some sort. But that's how I practice my 180s. Anyways, that would be it for this video. If you guys could follow me on Twitch, I will leave it posted in the description as well as up on the screen. It would be very nice of you. Anyways, peace. Follow me on Twitch, watch me live, and I will see you guys in the next YouTube video or on Twitch. Stop by, say hi.